So someone, keep asking, where your family at and what happened to your family, why you don't have any family and stuff like that. So I'm here to do a video, specifically about that question. The last time I had family was, back in the 80s. My family was before my grandmother passed away. I think it was like 86 or 87. Not for sure, but I was like young. I don't know, I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. I think I was between 7 or 8 now, something like that. I don't know. But that was the last time that I know of having family. Before my grandmother died, we was all close and we all bonded like family. But after she passed away, that was it. Everybody went their own way. Matter of fact, the day of the repast, that's when everybody clashed, and my mom's at the time was arguing with my auntie who passed away, I think 3 years ago or whatever. They was arguing over this and that and the other, and it was just chaos that day. Everybody was arguing that day. So, and then ever since then, everything just went down the hill from there. So it was, I've had no family ever since then, ever since my grandmother passed away in the late 80s or whatever, mid 80s. So that right there is the answer to the question. My family disappeared after my grandmother passed away in the 80s. Between that time, the beginning of that time until now, I've never had family. Never had family. I've only had relatives. So, yeah. Why? Because everybody was selfish. Everybody, used to always ventilate about how they were treated by their parents. My grandmother and my great-grandmother, all of them, they, I guess, weren't close when they was coming up, and they treated their kids with resentment and stuff like that. And, when people get mad at each other, they don't speak for a long period of time. Basically like a generational curse. So with my grandmother who passed away in the 80s, the only family that I knew of was just her immediate family. My grandmother had 6 kids that I know of. And all 6 of her kids had 6 different daddies. And my grandmother got married, but got married to a guy who she didn't have any kids with. And his last name was Harris. So she named all her kids Harris after this guy she married who she had no kids by. So none of her kids had their daddy's last names, at least, you know what I'm saying? They just had their mother's last name. So it stops right there with our generation. We don't know who, what, when, why, where. We don't know what you know what I'm saying? We just know that we got our grandmama last name. Because her mother's last name was Venerable. She didn't even, you know what I'm saying? So she had Venerable, but we don't know. Who was Venerable? Our great grandmother was Venerable, but we can't even go that far. You know what I'm saying? Of course, she passed away after my grandmother passed. But anyway, so I can't even go and see who was who, what with our generation, because she was married to someone who she had no kids by. His last name was Harris, so we got our last name from some guy who we don't even know anything about. So that was a little disturbance right there with the generation. Anyway, so I guess my grandmother was raising her kids, whatever, everybody was just treated unfair, treated with favoritism because everybody had different daddies, and so now with my mom's at the time, she was always, I'm talking about, she'll drink, and she wasn't no alcoholic, but she did drink a lot. She did drink her beers a lot. But when she drank, she used to always talk about when she grew up, like when my grandmother raised them or whatever. Or it was just a lot of resentment coming from my mom's on how she was being raised and how her siblings was being raised and being treated. One of my aunties, I guess she was being showed favor from her other auntie, and the oldest sister used to look over them but treat them bad and stuff like that. Their oldest brother got killed. He was a bully and everything. From what I heard, he was a bully of the whole neighborhood, and he supposed to got killed, and everybody was at ease when he got killed because he was a bully to everybody in the family as well. My other uncle, they brother, he just passed away, 3 years ago as well. He been in penitentiaries all his life. He was the person, like when he was a teenager, he stole cars and did this. My great-grandmother showed favoritism to him, used to always get him out of jail. I mean, almost put up a house one time for him. And that's how he ended up in jail for the rest of his life. Not doing a life sentence, but in and out all his life. In and out all his life, because he was being fed as one of her favorites as her grandchild. And he got out finally at 60, got out and decided to try to make his life right at 60. Had no skills or nothing and couldn't even file Social Security. So he tried to file Social Security and they denied him, like, you ain't never worked. He was always in jail. What you talking about? So he couldn't even get Social Security. So he went to Florida, and 8 months later, my cousin get the call or some letters or something saying that he passed away. He's been dead almost 8 months before they even found out. He went to Florida. I guess he was smoking crack or something, and he couldn't deal with they say he had respiratory failure, but he been smoking crack all his life too. So that's his life. He died, and didn't nobody even know until later. So he get out the penitentiary doing all his time, all his life since he was a teenager, get out at 60 and die. So, but even before that happened, I was working at Burger King, and he came up there, tried to help him get a job and everything, but my boss looked at him like, no, whatever. But I still tried my goal was to still try to help my uncle. But see, the drama comes around is when the family been treated so bad with their upbringing. I guess they feel that it's all right to treat their kids the same way. I'm giving that the benefit of doubt because it's very disturbing on how they can come up with excuses on why they treat their kids bad. Because every time they treat their kids bad, it's like my generation, me and my cousins and siblings, they always say, well, when I was brought up, my mama didn't do this to me either. My mama didn't do that. My mama did this. Well, I don't give a damn what your mama did. That don't make it right. See what I'm saying? I hear about a lot of people, they talking about they upbringing, they got molested and stuff like that, sexual molested, and they say they mama or their daddy say, well, my mama molested me, and well, what? So what, that make it right? So this is what I'm saying, that's why I say after my grandmother passed away, that's when everything started coming about. The true feelings I had my mom's and her siblings was feeling, so they lashed out on the kids. So moving on. Now, my mother had at the time, and the reason why I said my mother at the time because she was my mom's at the time. I don't know what the hell happened years later, but that was not my mother. And to this day, I don't have a mother. I don't have a mother or a father. I don't. My mother and father is Christ. You know what I'm saying? Well, Yahuwah. Yahuwah is my father and my mother. Jesus Christ is my brother. But I call him all that because he's my savior. He cuffed me, what I'm saying? When I go through problems, I got to go through Jesus first, to get my father. So, anyway, so when I was like a teenager, I'm different out of my mom's 6 kids. I'm different. I was always different. I was the oldest, but different. Different as, I've been a tomboy all my life. So I got picked on, I got ridiculed, I got slightly bullied, all that, and it got to a point where even my parents was ashamed. See, my mom's was this type of lady at the time. My mom's at the time was the type of lady where she liked to be accepted of the world, by the world. She want to be glossy and glittery and try to stunt for the world. So anything that made her an object of laughter or something that might cause embarrassment, she shunned it off, even if it's her own child. Because I've heard her say some things at times. I'm like, huh? You said that about me, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, things hurted me when I was little, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, when people did those things to me and I see my moms, diss me like that, you know what I'm saying? Actually, that just made me even stronger, made me even of a better person. I could have committed suicide, I could have killed people, I could have did all that bad choice, but I knew something inside of me was telling me, nope, you better than that. These people hate you because they ain't you. They feel embarrassed for you because they're ashamed to be themselves as well. Everybody is different, you know what I'm saying? I didn't bother nobody, I didn't hurt nobody, I didn't cause any harm against nobody, not even to myself or family at the time, But I was just different. I played ball a lot. I used to walk around with no t-shirt on till I was about almost like 9 or 10, you know what I'm saying? To the point my mother had to tell me, look, you gotta go put a shirt on, She was like, man, you weird like that, or whatever. And people like, man, your daughter, she be climbing fences like a little boy, man. She a tomboy. And I didn't even know what tomboy was at the time. I was a shorty, you know what I'm saying? Until I got older and they told me. But so what? That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't the only female in this whole planet that was a tomboy. So I was different, and I was treated. As I got older, though, like maybe around about 12, 13, and I was developing. So when I was developing, I was becoming attractive to boys, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm young now. I'm, developing breasts and, I'm getting hips now at this time. I'm starting to look and resemble like my aunties on my daddy's side, So, and I didn't care, I'm trying to play ball at this point. I'm trying to wrestle. I didn't care, But when I turned 14, that's when it got real about boys liking me and all this and that and the other, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute, and bow. That's how things started happening when they weren't supposed to. But my mother at the time had did some things that she shouldn't have done, and that's what caused the family at the beginning to start becoming apart, because when she didn't had all her kids, the guy that she started to be with, when she got married, me and my sister, the two oldest, supposed to have the same daddy. But when she got with this other guy, she had 2 more kids. She married him and had 2 more kids. And she ended up getting with another guy while she was married. And when she got with another guy, when she committed adultery, she had a baby by that guy. Now, while she was married, she basically committed adultery with her husband at the time, nephew. And she had a baby by him. So when she had a baby by her husband nephew, that caused a lot of confusion within the immediate family. She had another baby after that by the husband at the time, which is the youngest girl that made number 6. I hope I'm not losing y'all. It's kind of confusing, but that's how it went. So the husband found out that she had an affair with his nephew and broke that thing apart. Very disappointing and confusing and very shameful within the family, because everybody found out, everybody knew about it, even our relatives were shunning her and all this and that. picking favoritism, like, kids, get over here. They was picking me to tell, and my auntie a gossip about my mom's towards me and all this, trying to put everybody against my mom's and stuff like that, even though what she did was wrong. But that was my mom's at the time. I couldn't go against my mom's, She did a dumb move. We young. What we finna do? What can we do at this time? You know what I'm saying? So what I said that because by the time I turned 14, when we end up getting evicted, because we got evicted about my mom's getting into it with the neighbor, and she shot at the neighbor. So when we got evicted, we was at our great grandmother house at the time, and the guy who she had an affair with, the nephew, ended up finding them an apartment. So when she decided to move from great grandmama's house, me and my sister, we stayed. Like, why we not? What's going on? She had already had the apartment, because she used to just leave, sneak out and just leave, like, I'm going to be gone for a few days, y'all. I'll be right back. But took the other siblings with her. Left the two oldest behind and took the siblings with her. It's like, what's going on with mama? You know what I'm saying? What the heck? She lied to us, said that she just going to a hotel. She want to get great grandma's a break, and we just stay behind and go to a hotel. But anyway, fast forward, they come to find out, mom's had a crib already with the dude she had an affair with. And he didn't want us with her, with them. They could stay there. You take them. Come on, them ain't my responsibility, whatever. But he took his daughter and his cousins or whatever, because they was his uncle kids. So he said, these right here, we can all roll, but them two, they can stay behind. So anyway, we found that out later when she ended up telling us that she moved, I guess, or whatever, because I ended up getting pregnant. I had the crib to myself. I was young. My great-grandmother, she was deaf in one ear, and she always was in her room. So I said, well, I'm finna just do what I want to do then. And then I used to have boys come over and stuff like that. I used to stay outside all night, go to little parties and stuff on the block, gangbanging parties, all this at 14. So I didn't care, I'm 14. I'm doing what I want to do. But see, I didn't realize that was the beginning of disaster. That was the beginning of disaster within the family. So we eventually end up, I guess something happened where my great-grandmother just got tired of all of us and told all of us, look, you need to come and get them. I don't know what's going on. I think she got boys coming in and up out of here, and I can't keep an eye on her. My sister, she wasn't doing all that. She was telling on me, if anything. I used to have to pay her in candy and ice cups to keep her quiet or whatever. My friends, they used to like, man, shut up. And they'll give her a little money or whatever, But eventually we had to move with my mom's. But it was disappointing because me and my sister like, wait a minute, you had a crib all that time. We was over here, you know what I'm saying? Hungry at times. And, she was like, well, I ain't got to tell you everything and stuff like that. So we was eye-opening, and then we're like, damn, Mom, she's showing favoritism. So that was the beginning right there when everything, came about. See, the older your child get, they're going to get wiser. They're going to start seeing and noticing things. And so there was another flaw with my moms and my father at the time. They used to always continue to treat me like I was like 5 years old, as if I was stupid. So, yeah, and even with my pops, he didn't want to be bothered with me because he had moved on with his baby mama, had babies by her, and come to find out one-on-one supposed to be him, but he denied it. He still take care of the child, at that time like it was his. So he used to show favoritism because the lady he was dealing with didn't like my mom. So if me and my sister come over there, she used to try to show favoritism towards us. See, at the time coming up, me and my sister were enemies to everybody. Didn't nobody want to be bothered with us, even with my pops. He favored the women, so he didn't even care. He like, oh, you don't want to be bothered with them? Okay, well, okay, they can go back to their mama house. Go to my mama house. Man, you this and you that. You can get out, go over your daddy house. We was just, basically me. My sister, she be back and forth, but it wasn't that extreme with me being back and forth. But I believe that as me physically developing, I was showing attraction to men. And the reason why I'm saying that, because the guy she was with, the nephew who she had an affair with, used to always look at me, admire me. Now, I caught him one time in the car looking at me, but even before that, it was rumors saying that he was standing on a crate looking at me, and my mother caught him looking at me. So if my mother felt that she seen this dude and she caught him looking at me 2 o'clock in the morning while I'm asleep, then why is you with this dude? Why is you putting me out the house because you see that he like your daughter? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I'm 15 at the point. You know what I'm saying? So any little stupid thing I might do or say wrong, I'm getting put out. And as I'm being put out, you got to go with, I think you and Bo doing something anyway. I'm like, what? So, and I'm walking down the street with all this inside of me, like, what is really going on? Like, you think I'm doing something with your boyfriend? Like, are you, and they in the house sleep. And I'm out here at 15 years old walking the streets 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Trying to hustle my way to go to school by 7 in the morning because we all the way in another area because my school is always still back on the low end in the projects, and we all the way over here in Inglewood somewhere. So anyway, you know, like I say, you know, me and my sister was showing favoritism, but I had the hardest. I was definitely the black sheep. So that was like right in the beginning of the shunning off and showing favoritism. She don't wear bras no more. I ain't going to see her play ball. She don't play bra. I ain't going to see her play ball because she don't wear bras and all that. Everybody keep looking and laughing at her and all that. Yeah, my mom was ashamed of it. And Pops used to do the same thing. You dress like that's Gino Genies remind me of my pop. That's why I really shun him. He really reminds me of my pops. But my pops used to be just like Gino Genies. Man, you walking around looking like a man, and you need to put some earrings on, and yada yada this. That's why you ain't gonna never have a boyfriend. That's why you ain't gonna never get married, and yada yada this, and you ugly, and this and that and the other, and all that. I caught all that from Pops, you know what I'm saying? And he never came to my basketball games, never came to my graduation when I graduated high school or 8th grade. Heck, you know what I'm saying? When I graduated not 8th grade, but when I graduated high school, I was like, yeah, Pops, you know, I made it. Y'all thought I wasn't gonna make it because you always told me I was gonna be like my mama, having 6 kids around this time. So I kept getting put out all throughout my high school year. I was homeless. I walked and got my diploma. They said, yeah, that's cool, but yeah, you need to graduate college now. High school, that ain't nothing. How about college? And that was it. I was like, he used to tell me all throughout grammar school and high school ain't gonna be nothing. I'd be surprised if you get the high school diploma. You ain't gonna be nothing. You gonna have 6 kids like your mama. You gonna be trash. As soon as I graduated and got it, he was like, oh, that ain't nothing. Go to college and get it. I'll be happy then. I was like, dude, please. So, you know, you just couldn't win or lose with these people. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, throughout my teenage years, I was always homeless and always put out. And, you know, the relatives that I was still probably cahoosing with, they used to always try to put me against my mom's, gossiping about this and that and the other. And it might have been true, but I didn't want to be involved with trying to pick sides. And let's just all get along. You know what I'm saying? And when I said that at times, it was as if I was the enemy all of a sudden. Well, you got to go. Making up excuses. I used to stay with my auntie for like a short period of time. She was always smoke cigarettes and talk about my mom. Couldn't stand. That's the one who got into it with her years ago right after my grandmother died. They had their first incident at the repast. And I'm like 19 at this point, and she was still talking about my mom's holding resentment. These people, they hold resentment. They don't forgive each other. They don't talk to each other for years. And then when they do come around with certain relatives, that's when they want to continue to talk about what happened back then. Go to that person and talk about it. Don't talk about it to me. I don't want to hear that. So when I showed her that I didn't want to hear all that and I didn't care about it, I'm trying to do something, man. Come on, let's talk about going to a movie or something. Let's do something. I don't want to hear all this about back in the 80s and the 70s and stuff like that. And then when she saw that, she told me to get out. Not right then and there, but like maybe a couple of days later, she was like, so you ain't found nowhere. I'm like, I already knew what it was, yo. So I left there and I ain't heard from her in years. Matter of fact, I haven't heard from her since. I haven't never heard from her. My cousin, who I end up cahoosing with 20-some years later, they was still staying over there where they was staying at. I ended up cahoosing with her, and I was like, yeah, what's up with auntie? And they was like, oh, well, she's doing fine. She all right. She don't want to be bothered right now, though, but she all right. I'm like, okay. So it was me, my other auntie, my other mother's sister, who was being shown favoritism when they was coming up back in their day. She was over there, my auntie, you know, she was cool, you know, I liked her. She helped me out a long time ago when I was homeless. At one point, she helped me use her address, get my food stamps at the time. So I didn't have no problems with none of my relatives at the time. But as I'm an adult now, dealing with them, they still had that mentality back then. They still held resentment towards one another as I didn't get back in cahoots with these people after 20-some years. So I go over to my cousin's house, which she still stayed over there. My auntie stayed a level up under her. So they say, oh, she doing fine. But that look, I'm like, okay, I just squashed it. I ain't say made nothing of it. I ain't seen my auntie since I was 19 years old. Since I was 19. I'm at the point where I'm like, what, 39, 40? And that's when I started talking to them. Say, she all right. So they laughed, basically, because I'm about to tell you what happened. So as we talking and playing cards and stuff like that, you know, my cousin daughter, my other cousin, the little young girl, she what, 20, 21 at this time. When I said it, she was like, what? She was a pookie. She was like, what, 9, 8, 10 or something like that. She was a pookie. But now she grown, college and everything. And so when I come around, you know, it's like I was being attacked as if I'm a fool or something. So I'm like, hey, what's up, Brianna? Whatever her name was, I don't know. I don't even know the name no more. So anyway, as she talking and her father was talking, now see, I don't know these people no more. It's been 20-some years, so I don't know my little cousin like that. She don't know me. But as we're trying to acquaint, they come off at me as if some type of fool or something. So I'm like, what's going on? She talking about Jesus and God and society, and I'm talking to her back about it, but I could tell about the enforcement of her tone as she was talking to me was as if I was some type of nut or something. So it's obviously I've been talked about behind my back within them 20-some years or something. Oh, kids, she's stupid. She been homeless all her life. She this and then the other, and yada yada this, because as I'm talking to someone who I haven't seen since they was like a shorty, coming off like they knew me. And the father, he was coming at me too, but because he was agreeing with his daughter, of course. But I guess after I was constantly talking about it or whatever we was discussing, I guess he was looking, he felt some type of way because he just got up and he just like, okay, well, I'm finna go to my mom's house. She got something going on over. He just decided to say, look, I'm finna just gonna get up out of here, you know. We weren't arguing, but it was just truth coming out in the air on my end. And it was some type of spice in the air, you know what I'm saying? But I felt a little some type of way though, like, why? Come on, when I was 19, you was a peon. When I saw you, don't even know me like that. You coming at me like I'm dumb because you go to college. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But that goes back to the video I was talking about, renewing of the man. You know, when people try to keep talking like you a fool or something. So anyway, there was another warning about the relatives I was dealing with at the time. So as we talking and playing cards or whatever, you know, throughout, we having a nice time, fake nice time. And we was just talking, and everybody was talking about my sister with her, because at this point, as we're adults, my sister that was close to me, she started having issues or whatever. She's enemies with everybody because of her attitude, flipping. I don't even deal with her no more. But as we're here as supposed to be family relatives, they're talking about her. And even my mom was thrown in there at times. Mom's this and that thing. So I just said, you know what? I ain't finna be talking about this. I said, well, they not here, so I'm not finna discuss about moms and sister because they not here to defend themselves. So that was squashed. They was like, okay, yeah, you right. Come on, let's just talk about something else and play cards. So that's what I did. And I guess there was another one, like, okay, well, she's still on mommy and sister side, but it's not about that. I'm not finna be sitting up here. Y'all still got these feelings towards certain family members. And, hey, that's y'all right. But I didn't come over here to bash. At the time, I was still talking to my sister and my moms, though. I was still talking to them at the time, but it wasn't close. But even so, then I didn't feel comfortable talking about them the way they were. I didn't feel comfortable with that. I didn't feel like I wanted to be part of this clique. And that's what it was beginning to be, a clique amongst them. Because it's like, okay, we could talk with this person, but we ain't talking to that person. It wasn't, I don't deal with that person. I don't know about you, but it was we don't deal with that. We could deal with you, but what you talking about? You ain't gonna tell me who I should deal with and who you should deal. No, we not. We supposed to be family, supposed to be relatives, right? Well, family at the time, but that's what we are as relatives. So as I'm videoing later on, it's getting late. I'm videoing, putting it on YouTube, and this is back in 2018. I think this was right before I moved out to Indiana. I think I was still living out there, 2018, I think. But as I'm videoing us having a nice time playing golf, and put it on YouTube at the time, and I'm saying, Brianna, and I'm trying to get her attention on the video, and she started just ignoring me, playing cards. I'm like, Brianna. She like, I was like, huh? I was like, such and such. Everybody else heard me. They was like, hey, such and such. So they're like, hey. And I said, Brianna. She just started playing cards. So I'm like, I ain't dealing with this. I guess I must have got under her skin when we had our first conversation at the beginning of the moment of us supposed to been, kicking it. I guess when we had our little conversation, like I said, the truth came out of somewhere. I must have attacked her because she came off as if she knew me, was going to try to tell me something and don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, since I've been to school, I'm going to school you. Now, you ain't going to school nothing here because you don't know me at all. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I know more than you. I don't care about age, but you're not going to come off as if I'm some type of nut because of what you done heard from relatives. So that was a sign right there that she didn't like me or whatever. Just nonsense. So that was a sign right there. I'm like, okay, I got her in the pocket. So, but anyway, the night, went out and, me and my cousin who threw the little event, we talked outside and, and hugged and everything. We talked for a long time. And that was that. But I still wasn't feeling it. So I say, well, I ain't dealing with them no more. They crazy. They still on that same old mentality about how they feel about this person, that person, who they willing to talk to and socialize with. I don't kick it like that. I'm not trying to be part of no clique. You're not finna help run my life the way you want it to be ran because you don't want to deal with people and you want to make somebody feel some type of way because you don't like them and all that. Then she over here, Miss College goer, Miss Joe College over here trying to tell a 40-some-year-old what she or he should be doing and all that. Then get mad if things may not sound right to her. I don't have time for that. I'm not finna be dealing with people like that all my life. So that was a red flag with that going on, with that relative. So, as time went on, my auntie passed away. So I'm like, huh? My cousin mother, the one who I hadn't seen since I was 19. I said, she passed away all of a sudden. I said, well, what happened? This my auntie called, the one who always crying and falling over caskets and stuff. I don't want to talk about it right now, but yeah, if you want to come to the funeral, your name going to be on a private listing. Yeah, I'm like, man, damn that. What happened? You need to call Tari and ask her what happened and yada yada this and all that. So I'm like, okay, whatever. That was another red flag. So I called my cousin, who threw the event, who mother it was. I said, well, what's going on, but what's going on with auntie? When I was over there, you said she was all right, so what's going on? Oh, yeah, she went on, she went on home, she gone. I'm like, what happened? Just call, give me some time, call me back. I'm like, so that was that. I said, I don't know what is going on, why they not telling me what's up, but it just didn't make no sense at all. So I called my other auntie back, like maybe a couple of days later. I said, well, what's going on? She said, look, this is the information to come down to the funeral home. I said, well, I'm going to tell my mom, so sister, that, no, don't tell her nothing. No, she ain't part of this. No, she ain't being invited to come to the funeral. No, just you, and we're going to put your name down there. I was like, huh? No, she ain't invited, and Joy ain't invited, and I'm like, man, these people are nuts. Somebody just passed away in the family. They talking about who can come to the funeral and who can't. So I say, look, what is going on? I said, y'all still on this nonsense back in the 80s and 90s and all that. Say, man, look at here. Man, what happened? What's going on? I'm not finna come if you ain't gonna tell me what's going on. Oh, she had cancer. That was it? She had cancer. Okay, why you couldn't tell me that? Tari couldn't tell what she going through something right. That's why she can't tell you. What you talking about? I understand she going through something, but My father passed away, 3 years ago prior to this. Okay, so what the hell you talking about? That's family. Why you can't tell me? So she supposed to had died of cancer or whatever. It was something else. But I'm like, okay, well, so what? She was sick all that time, and even when I was over there playing cards with y'all, she was sick, and y'all didn't say nothing. Y'all lied, basically. Y'all saying that, because this was like maybe 2 months later, she passed away after me being over there. I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I said, the hell with all this, and I just hung up. And then, like, after that, my cousin kept calling me. I ignored all of them at that point. She even at one point had a boyfriend, baby daddy or whatever, the guy she was with, had him to come up there stalking me and all this crap at my job. And yeah, you know, and my coworkers tell, yeah, KK, yeah, your cousin, somebody, the guy, he's like, guy cousin, what are you talking about? He said that Marshall said give him. I'm like, oh, this dude. I'm like, okay, why she can't come up? What the hell he coming up here for? They ain't my cousin. Only I only know this dude. What he coming up here stalking me for? And this is way after the fact. But it wasn't even about trying to get in contact. It was about trying to get back at me, as if in, okay, well, you don't want to talk to us no more, so I'm finna show you now. I'm gonna hunt you down so you can feel that you need to talk to me about whatever, so I can shun you off. Because that's what they do. They don't talk to you for years and feel that you ain't gonna be the one that's not gonna talk to me first. I'm gonna be the one that's not gonna talk to you no more. That's how they all roll. Generational curse. So he came up there for the last time. I'm like, what's up, man? Oh yeah, man, you know, cuz, man, she been going through something. She just want to know, she don't know what happened, but you start talking to her. And I said, man, look, it ain't about all that, but it's just everybody is still the same. I ain't got time for all the shenanigans. Everybody is still the same. Everybody holding resentment and all that. He said, well, she said give her a call. I said, give me the number. Where she at? And I knew she was in the back, sitting in the truck, just looking. So I said, give me the number. I got the number. And while he's standing there, I called. So I called. She didn't even pick up. They went to the voicemail. So I said, okay, she didn't answer. And then I hung up. I said, she didn't answer. So I did my part. They're like, okay, well, maybe she busy right now. I said, okay. Well, there you go. And then, boom, that was the end of that. So she got what she wanted. Okay, tell her to call me so I won't pick up and answer to her. She got what she wanted. Now leave me the hell alone. And that was that. So moving on. So yeah, that's why I don't deal with them no more. I don't deal with them no more because of the nonsense that they still hold on about things in the past. So I like to do new things and move forward. If you want to roll with me, let's roll. Family or no family. So that X that out. Now, I keep talking about being different because I am. And a lot of people don't like my style. A lot of people don't like, how I dress or whatever. A lot of people don't understand me. I didn't realize exactly the pinpoint of who I am until God revealed it to me. And I am a chosen one. He made me different, you know what I'm saying? And everybody else is different too. But everybody else try to be like everybody else. Get it? Am I making sense? We're all different. We're all unique. And we all have individual blessings, talents. But for the most part, as this world revolves around us, as one world, we all want to be like each other. Everybody want to be like Tom. Everybody want to be like Tammy. Everybody want to be like Phil. Everybody want to be like Joe Blow. Don't nobody want to be themselves as God designed us to be. We're all as one in his creation, but we're all different as being created. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I hope you're getting it some way, somehow. So, a human being, a person, an individual who walks this earth, and they may look weird, they may talk weird, they may walk, dress different, weird, or whatever to you, and they're fine with it. They're not bothering nobody. They're not hurting, harming themselves or anyone else. They're not doing anything against God, nothing, nature, or anything. But it's just that you, as an individual, don't like it. You find it to be weird because that's something that you're not comfortable with watching. You don't feel comfortable with yourself. and you agree with everybody else who agree with you. So that's what makes the majority rule when they see an individual like me. You see somebody like me coming up, you want to say things that may be harsh, say something different, or she did, she looked like this, she that, because I'm different compared to everybody else on how they want me to be and how they want me to look, so they're not going to accept me. But I'm comfortable with me and who I am. And even with my relatives, my pops, my moms at the time, my siblings at the time, they all talked about me. They all made fun of me because I'm not like them. I'm the darkest, I'm the shortest. You know what I'm saying? I'm the most aggressive one, I guess. I don't know. I'm from the streets. They not. You know, everybody got a spoon fed in their mouth, show favoritism. And I'm the opposite of them. So I'm not part of them no more. I never was, is what I'm saying. They all talked about me. They make joke about, oh man, such and such said this about you. When you go up to the school and get your siblings out of school, the classmates laugh at you and say, who is that, a man or a woman? Is that a boy or a girl? And yeah, ha this. So I was embarrassing my siblings or whatever, because my siblings would come back and tell my moms and them and my other siblings what they said to them. So I said, I won't go to your school no more. I won't come and go up there and get them. But you better be glad that I didn't hear, because if I'd have heard, I probably would have bopped them in their mouth or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you did, because I'm sure you probably would have done it. Such and such, kids, KK, whatever at the time. So it's all about a big acceptance of the world. My other baby sister, she don't like black people. So I said something wrong with that nut right there. So I don't deal with that. That's another story, I guess. But so, you know, and as I've gotten older at this point in my life, in my 40s now, I be damned if I continue to be around people who want to continue to treat me like crap. I'm not having it. I've been treated like this all my life, damn near. And I'm at the point where I'm fighting back spiritually. Because I've developed courage now from Yahweh. And when it comes to this point right here of me being without, I was rooming, boarding, stuff like that. Because when I left at that time to go to Atlanta, that's when I started over. So I came back homeless and started living here and there and all that. Ended up eventually when I was working at Burger King, I got a room and board. So I'm living like a slop at this point. I was trying to get my son to come back at one you know, my friend who was his godfather, he was an ally. But my mom's, as a narcissist of the family, she manipulated him, so he became a flying monkey with her circle, and that's how me and him don't deal with each other no more, but he still take care of my son. So he came over, he was like, nah, I'm good. Nah, he ain't come back over here. First of all, hold on, you don't tell me where my son ain't going. But I understood that, because I didn't want him to be living like that either, in the slop little room. And so but I still didn't like the attitude that he threw out there. See, when you give people a leeway, hold my son, that's how I get things situated. They feel like, boom, you ain't getting them back, and you this and that, like some type of damn drug addict or something, or some type of nut case where I'm not responsible to take care of my son, but I left on my own in the first place. So that's another story. But anyway, like I said, I understood the argument, whatever, so I didn't make a big fuss about it, because I wanted something better for my son. But living like that, I guess, you know, people was like, I guess, looking at me like, that's why you ain't got your own crib, you ain't got no car, you ain't got nothing going for yourself, you living in the room, and you need us, and yada yada this. I guess, I don't know, but you know, for the most part, that's how they was treating me. But I still talk to them and I converse with them, because it'd be kind of, I guess, phony on their part. I'm the type of person, like, if we don't talk, I apologize for something they did, then we'll get back in cahoots. I didn't even realize what I was doing. I didn't realize that I was a sucker for the shenanigan narcissist. I didn't even realize that at the time, because it got out of hand and I got tired of it. So, but eventually in 2017, God blessed me with a car. So that was the beginning of the blessing. So when I got my car, I didn't realize what he exactly gave me the car for, but I knew I needed it. I got tired of riding the bus. But as I'm riding, I said, well, okay, thank you, Lord. You know, okay, cool then. Nobody's name on it but mine. You know, I ain't got no writers on here, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't got none of that. No dependencies, none of that on here. It's just me, right? So I said, well, I'm going to take it up a notch then. Bless me with an apartment. Bless me with a home or something. I need to get up out these rooms, Bless me with that. That's when it really happened with the shenanigan of the relatives. When God blessed me with this apartment out here in Indiana, that's when everybody started showing out. And I didn't realize it exactly at that time until later. I didn't realize anything, I didn't realize a pinpoint of everything until after I came out here and he settled me down. He was preparing the table before my enemies, and I didn't even realize that they act a fool when he blessed me with this apartment. Everybody act a fool. When I came out here, I moved out here in 2018, fall of 2018. I hadn't even been here a complete month. Haven't been here a complete month. And my mother called me, and she was like, yeah, you need to call Jeff. That was my ally at the time, who was my son's godfather. She said, you need to call him and see if he can help pay your rent for the rest of the year so you can catch up and yada, yada this and yada, yada that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I told her that, I moved in, I paid my rent a certain type of way or whatever, just, let her know what's going on. But I didn't need no help or nothing. I got this. But she over there stressing about my circumstances, and it wasn't even that serious. So anyway, like I said, less than a month of me being here, she called me saying, yeah, you need to call. No, but first of all, she started off like this. I know you're going to be mad, but just hear me out first. Don't get mad. Just hear me out. So I'm like, okay, where's she finna go? What's she finna talk about now? So it's obviously she must have knew I was going to be upset, or she must have knew that it should have been turned for the worse for her to even start off with that. So I was like, okay, here we go. Which is not nothing new coming from her, because this is my mother, chaotic. She's drama. So I'm like, what? She said, well, you should ask Jeff to help pay your rent for the rest of the year, so you won't keep falling behind. I'm just saying. I say, well, no. Pause. Now, at this point, I don't feel comfortable asking Jeff for anything, because let's go back a little bit. Jeff, like I said, became a flying monkey of my mother, who's the narcissist of the family. So he was talked about a lot, even from my end. I was letting her know how I was feeling about him. Jeff, like I said, I'm not trying to pour no defamation about anything. These are true allegations. At one point he tried to come on to me, and I made an issue about it towards my mother. I said, well, I think he tried. I don't know if he was joking about it or whatever, but he's gay. But, when he tried to come on to me, I thought it was a joke. You know what I'm saying? And this was like maybe 2015-ish. So I said, yeah, I think that's kind of weird. He was trying to come on to it, but I think he was just joking, though, blah. So I'm talking to my mom about things like this. Didn't even realize she was going back telling him what I was saying. But anyway, and what made me decide to tell her is because he kept doing it. And then at one point when I decided to say, hey, man, is you for real? Like, it's for real, though. Is you for real? He was like, yeah. I was like, whoa, I felt totally different. Like, wait a minute, hold on. Man, we cool. Now, at the time, I was, gay, but I wasn't active, though. I wasn't active because I had stopped doing my thing, physically, in 2011. But anyway, I'm like, dude, what's going on here? I can't get out. You like a brother to me. You know what I'm saying? You my son godfather. What's going on? And he used to help me out with a lot. He the one who helped me even get my first apartment back in 2000, because he brought up this homeless program. So I know Jeff for right now 20-some years, 21, 20 years. But at this point, I guess he felt, since I was at that needed point, back then in 2015, I was in room and boards, and he's always paid my rent and do this and do that within the program. So I guess he was like, man, look, she gonna have to get something up this time. I ain't finna keep doing this and that. But it was disturbing, because why you favor me like that? You supposed to be gay. What is going on here? You know what I'm saying? So that's what made me feel uneasy about him. He was like, yeah, I'm for real. I was like, nah, man, I don't feel comfortable with that. And he started treating me different. So I said, okay, this is what's happening. But anyway, I didn't still make a big fuss about it. I just felt like we was grown people about it. Look, I told you no. Boom, you go your way, I go my way. But you know, it's obvious I couldn't ask him to help me no more, because at this point he had already showed me he ain't willing to help me because I wasn't willing to sleep with him. I'm like, okay, well, that's what made me tell my moms about it. You know, let's talk to her, ventilate. So she had to go back and tell him, because as years passed by, he didn't want to talk to me on the phone. I called about my son. He'd be like, hello, hold on. And it's been times that I have gone out to his house. I had a basement with my son while he up there. And it's been times every time I go upstairs to try to talk to him. He'd be with his friend too. I try to go up there, he'd be like, what? I'm like, my bad? Damn, I was just asking what y'all watching. You know, what's going. But I already knew that he was holding resentment from them couple of years earlier about me not wanting to get down with him. So, you know, throughout them times where every time I go over his house, he'll treat me like crap or whatever. It'd be all fake and fun. Every time we all eat dinner, be me, my son, him, and his lover, we eat dinner, everybody be all quiet and be all tensed up. And I was like, I ain't come back over here no more. I ain't come back to you. I want to leave at 10, but he's so far, I couldn't really leave at the time. Man, and my son over here, I'm trying to kick it with my son. I'm like, you know what? This is crazy. I'm not willing to be in nobody's house who don't want me there, whatever. I understand my son there, but see, everybody want me to kiss they buttocks because my son is involved with all this. So that was it for Jeff, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I still went over his house when my son graduated high school, but I still felt the tension in the air. Him and his church folk, people was gossiping about me sagging my pants at the time or whatever. So when I'm at your house, I'm trying to get comfortable. I'm kicking with my son and my sisters and everything. I go in the kitchen, everybody, why you sag? I said, because I want to. Leave me alone. What is wrong with y'all heathens? What's and everybody looking at. I was like, you know what? Let me stop. 'Cause I don't like disrespecting people's cribs. So that was the end of that or whatever. You know, I didn't go over his house no more. So, but anyway, and that was like probably like 2017 2017 or 18 or something like that. But anyway, so when she called me, telling me, yeah, you know, all that had passed. When she said, yeah, call Jeff and ask him to pay your rent. I said no. I don't deal with him like that no more. And I'm sure you know why. He been acting funny, and I'm sure if he's listening right now, he can hear right through this phone. And then when I said that, she got real irate about it. She was like, what you talking about? That's your power. You're not listening to me. And I'm like, hold on. Like, what you mad about? You said, you telling me not to get mad. That's the first thing you said. Don't get mad about what you about to say. You asked me a question about him. I said, no, he's not paying nothing. I'm good. And then you blow all out. So what was that all about? Why you blowing all off steam? Because I said that we talk about him a lot. So he had to been listening because she got mad. I'm assuming because she got too irate after I said that. So I say, look, I just moved over here. I'm boiling cabbage. I'm cooking a cabbage soup. I'm watching me some Madea. I'm having a nice time alone. I ain't bothering nobody. You bothering me. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather not talk about this. I got this. God did not allow me to come over here so I could be in disruption with finances and stuff like that. Nah, he done already showed me what he can do for me. I'm good. I don't need his help. I got this. She was like, oh yeah. I said, yeah, I got it. I'm good. I didn't ask you to call Jeff. I didn't ask you to help me out with nothing. I just told you what was going on. I shouldn't have done that because I see what you doing. You starting arguments. It says you drunk. I ain't drinking. As you drunk, I was like, yeah, I'm drinking, but I ain't drunk. You know what I'm saying? So we going back and forth. So right now it's already toxic on how we talking to each other. So I said, I ain't with all that. This is Satan. I was just having a nice time doing my thing. I'm cooking. I'm sipping on some wine. I'm having a nice time. And here she go with all this nonsense. So I say, you know what? I'm done with this conversation. What else you want to talk about? Because I'm not talking about this no more. She's like, yeah, well, okay, then whatever. I was like, okay. She's like, bad. And I was like, okay, bad. And boom, that was it. Now, that was it from us verbally talking. But I had text her because she was concerned about my coworker at work about somebody passed away. But before they passed away, they had a stroke. And she was nosy about what was going on with them. So when the person finally passed away, I went on and texted her about what was going on. because I'm not phony, and I don't hold resentment, you know. So when she didn't text back, but she finally texted back, like maybe a day later, she was like, just like that, I was like, that's it. Well, I don't want you to feel that I'm trying to suck up to you and all that. You causing all this. So that was the end of our conversation in 2018 with my mom's at the time. So that was that with her. I said, I'm done with it. I'm 40-some years. I'm not going to be going through this all my life, back and forth with relatives. One minute you talking to them, you cool. And then another minute, everybody want to get in their feelings and they don't want to talk to you no more for months and years. And I don't have time for that. So that was that with that. My sister, who's supposed to be close to me, December 31st, 2018, I go over to her house. Now, before I even went over to her house, something in my spirit was telling me stay home. Something in my spirit was telling me stay, because she was starting to kind of show like evil ways too about me moving out here. And, you know, I want you to help me do this, help me do that. Every time I'm at work, she want me to come over her house and help her with something financially or whatever. She needs some money, whatever. And I had no problem with that, you know, but she was starting to be demanding. So I didn't like the attitude about that. Now, the attitudes with her has been going on for a minute, but I'm skipping stuff. But this is the end of the whole, this is what blew the cannon off. So I said, you know what, whatever. I'm ignoring all the signs that God's showing before me with these people. So December 31st, I decided to go over there for New Year's Eve. I bought fish. I said, I'm going to fry some fish. I bought liquor, all that, you know. Bought champagne, bought her a bottle of new vodka. I had a new vodka. Bought stuff for the kids, some pops and potato chips or whatever. So as I'm over there, I'm cooking and stuff like that, and we talking at times, you know, the kids playing around or whatever. We had a couple of conversations about something stupid, and she had an attitude. I was like, huh? And she was like, and I was like, huh? Now this is why. And now she ain't nobody over there but me for New Year's Eve. Ain't nobody over there but me. I'm her only company and her kids. That was a red flag right there. So I'm like, and I'm saying to myself, what the heck? She throwing an attitude about what is wrong with these people. So I ignored her. And she said something like, because she the type who want to have the last word. Who want to have the last word about something. So a person that's supposed to be of God supposed to just humble themselves and don't say nothing. But worldly people who don't have the spirit of God in him take that for a weakness. They say, yeah, and I said this, and well, I said that. No, well, I said this. If you around somebody that's worldly, they're going to take you not saying anything as a weakness. I won, y'all. I said the last thing. Now you better shut up. That's how people look at you. But if you keep going back and forth, that's just idiotic. You know what I'm saying? You just being just as stupid as them and insecure than the next person. So I just said, you know, I ain't going through that well. So I just shut up. And she said something. I was like, so I just shut up. But I guess she took that as a weakness or whatever. Because what happened after that shot it up. Now this is like around about 8 o'clock as I'm cooking. So 10 o'clock I decided to drink because I want to be ready for the countdown. So she started drinking maybe an hour early, whatever. It don't matter. But as we having a nice time, my niece kept playing around. But as the time got later, me and my sister drinking and we're cussing a lot, doing all this cussing and carrying on, and we getting full of ourselves. We're intoxicated. So right at 12 o'clock, we did the countdown. And toss it up and everything. My nephew, he stayed in the room all that night. He ended up playing video games, and my niece, she kept going back and forth, you know, just all over the place. And me and my sister was doing some type of game, but we drinking and cussing at the same time. Now this is after 12. Now throughout the kick, and then after 10, my niece started playing all around the place. I'm talking about like seriously jumping all about to bust her head and fall and tripping all this. And my sister throughout the whole time we kicking, sit down, stop, hey, come here. Novelle, stop. I mean, throughout the whole thing. And I was like, Novelle, stop, you know. So we have a moment where she just going in and sit down, you know. And I'm not following her because she bored, I guess. She ain't got nobody to play with. So she just up. It's New Year's and she see mommy and auntie having a nice time. And she coming out, but she's being in the way. And plus, I didn't feel too comfortable talking the way I was talking around her. You know, this is adult time, you know. And she was like, you need to go in the room, just stay. You know, there's grown people out here going there or whatever. So she came out again for the last time. This time, she almost fell. And my sister like cussing at her. Get up and get your room and all that. And as she was going to her room, I was like, I know, annoying. That's what I said. I said, I know, annoying, just like that. So I'm like, yeah, get back to talking. And then next thing you know, my sister started saying something, but I was incoherent on what she was saying, because I'm thinking we back to having our little fun. She said, talk to my daughter like that. And I'm like, it's because it was coming to me. At first, I didn't understand what she was saying, because it happened all of a sudden. We having a nice time, and she, when I said what I said, she all of a sudden, call my daughter annoying. You don't do that, disrespectful, and yada yada this. And I'm like, and she getting up, walking away, and I'm like, huh? Yeah, you heard me. I'm like, what? Yeah, you call my daughter annoying. That's disrespectful. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, are you serious right now? You pissed about that? I said, she was annoying. What are you talking about? That's my niece. So what? She was annoying. But that's wrong. You disrespected and yada yada this. I say, what? I'm still shocked about how could your moment of having a nice time shoot down to you being so pissed about me saying that she's annoying. So she went in the bathroom somewhere, and she was in the bathroom for a long time, water running and all that. So I said, you know what? Something told me not to come over here. Something told me not. I didn't quote all the signs before, and even when I got here cooking, while she was having a little hissy fits while I'm cooking, some told me to stop and leave her, but I didn't. I kept going, trying to satisfy myself and others. So as she in the bathroom, I just stood there like, I just can't even believe how this all ended. I'm like, man, this New Year's with the champagne and she been up in here all day running around about to fall 5 times, bust her head, and she just cussed her own daughter out, calling all B's and mother effers. And she going, I said, no, annoying. And she pissed at me because I said annoying. I said, she is a nutcase. But it was all a sign that, see, I told you shouldn't have went over there in the first place. This your way to leave right now and don't come back. She was in the bathroom for a long time, so I was still sitting there. That's because she come out. But what am I waiting on for her to come out the bathroom? I'm going to do is argue. So God was like, no, this is your time to leave. So within 20 minutes of her still being in the bathroom, I said, I'm finna go. So I got my things, and the drink that I bought her, I took that too, because it's a pattern here I see. Every time I used to come over to her, even with my friends who she broke the part with too. See, before I go to explaining about me being over there all the time with my homies and stuff, my mother at the time and my sister at the time, they didn't like me having allies. When people see you with associates, friends, allies, and they don't have them, what they do is they try to they come at you as a scapegoat, pinpoint you as if you a problem to get rid of your allies away from you. So they gossip, they spread lies, they rumors and all this to try to get your associates away from you, because they want your associates to be their friends or whatever. Which I'm not selfish about my associates, but why you gotta lie, cheat, and steal to break them apart away from me? That's what happened with my other associate, Crystal, at the time. I was over at my sister's house and she was smoking. And my friend said she didn't want to go in the room and smoke. Well, while she was smoking, I didn't want to go in there either. So we out here. My sister, why you come in with me while I'm smoking? I don't care where. She could stay out there. You my sister. You could come in here. What are you talking about? We're not in there because you're a smoker. This has nothing to do with sisters and brothers and best friends. What are you talking about? So something was loose in the head even before that, but for her to even come up with a reason why she should be mad about me and her in the room was just preposterous. So she did all that to break apart. Come to find out, well, when we left, I'm gonna just say this: when we left, I left beers, drinks, food, all that. So when I come to my sister's house or whoever at the time, I bring food, I bring drinks, and we all have a merry time. You know what I'm saying? She starts stuff all the time. We always argue. And I don't want to say we, because I never argue back. I may say, look, don't worry about it. We finna just go. That's what I always say. Get your coats. I told Chris, get your purse, get your earmuffs, or whatever you need. We out of here. I don't sit there and argue because it's nonsense. But when I leave, it's like maybe like the third time compared to this New Year's Eve. The New Year's thing was like the fourth time. But 3 times prior, but 3 times other, I used to always just leave my stuff behind. Drinks, all that, because I'm a bit bigger and better person. But you would think that the person would be like, okay, man, maybe it's me, if she leaving her stuff behind, she don't care, maybe that should make me feel little. But in her case, she was taking it as a weakness, and I guess I was being a fool, leaving everything behind, I'm being nice. This time, when she decided to keep doing her thing or whatever, I took the drink. Not because I wanted it or I did it on purpose, because I knew she was going to continue to find it as a weakness, and plus I also knew that it was going to be the last time I was going to come over there, and I knew with all this blagging, if I took that, it was going to hurt her soul. So anyway, but with Crystal, she later on was still dealing with her. And Crystal told me, like, yeah, no, you gonna get mad. No, don't get mad. Everybody always come with this, don't get mad. But if you know that's what's gonna make a person upset, why would you even bring it up and talk about it? But my friend at the time, Chris, was like, don't get mad. I'm like, what are you talking about? Showed me a picture about my sister. They still cahoosing on Facebook. We still talking. And I'm like, but me and her not even talking. What is you and her talking about? You don't even know her. So all of a sudden, y'all friends now. After what happened? So I'm the enemy. I cause this is what it's seeming like. If my friend at the time is socializing with my sister who caused the problem of us not speaking, and you also was involved because you the reason why we didn't go in there, well, we both decided not to go in there, but how did you skip me, and how did that happen? How did we cool now? So what did I do? That's what it's making it seem like I might have did something wrong. Because for you, I just didn't understand that. You cool, but you gonna skip me and go kick it with someone who it's drama. But it come to find out, even after that, I had told Crystal, like maybe a week or two, I was like, what, something in my spirit's telling me I need to leave you where you at. I politely told her I cannot talk to her no more. She came up to my job, like, man, come up and come see. I said, you know what? I'm going to just have to be honest with you, because I don't phony kick it. I said, I can't talk to you no more. After what happened with, you still talking and being close with my sister, after what happened, I can't trust you no more. I can't trust you. I can't, man, you was cool, but after what you did, I just wish you the best. I think that was a wrong SHITTY decision you made, so I can't talk to you no more. And she was like, okay, I mean, that's your choice. I was like, yeah, that's it. And she got in her car, and even when she came, she blew the horn like ding ding. And I was like, and then that was the last time I seen Chris, and that was in 2018. 2017. No, that was 2017. But it was right before I got my car. I haven't even had my car then. I was riding with her. So I haven't even had my own car then. So it had to be 2017-ish. It was early before I got my car. But see, that's what happened. Now, me and her don't even speak no more because of what my sister did. Me and Jeff don't speak no more because of what my mother did. And they was both my friends. Both allies. So they all out of my life now. See, as a person, we have to understand that God is who we all need. Not friends, not associates. We don't need these people. These people are in our lives for a season and for a reason. When it's meant for them to go, release them. That's their choice. So anyway, this last rip for New Year's, the reason why I took that bottle that I had bought, because she didn't need it. She was already drunk, and she wasn't finna get drunk on me, not on my watch, for this last time. So I took the things that I had, and the kids, took their waters out, and I took that last bottle, even the champagne stayed. Took that last bottle. I said, nope, she ain't getting. I ain't finna keep leaving my stuff like that. I always leave my stuff behind. But this rip, I was like, nope. Took my stuff, opened up the door politely, and I said, such. I think my niece came back, y'all. No, my nephew came in. He's like, what's going on? Because I guess my niece must have went in there and said something. But my nephew said, look, hey, check this out. Lock this door. I'm gone. And then I left and went on about my business. Now, imagine it's New Year's. It's like, what? It's New Year's. There's like 3 a.m. at this point. So one of the guys downstairs was like, man, I wish I had me a drink. I am not lying. And I said, hey, yo, check this out. You want this? I said, I tell you what, $5. $5. He was like, $5. Okay, cool. Then I'm finna go upstairs because she stayed in the building. As we're in the lobby, this is what we doing. He's like, I'm finna go upstairs by myself. Well, meet me around the side. I'm parked on the side of the building. He's like, man, don't go nowhere. I'm finna go get the $5 right now. I said, okay, come on. I'll wait on you. I'm around the way. And showing up, I went around the way. I'm starting my car up. And because it's cold, so I got time to sit up here and wait on do it. If I come around, I'm gone. Showing up, dude came up. He was like, hey, I get it. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't care about no $5. I just didn't care. I didn't want it. I was just mad. I was mad about the circumstance, but I just didn't care. So I gave him the liquor that she had, gave, and I took the $5. Got in my car, had my little liquor, whatever, and shot out to Indiana. God was with me because I was drunk. I wasn't too drunk, but I was still, if I got pulled over, that would have been it for me. So God was with me on my way home. And I'm talking about from 63rd in Cottage, 630 King Drive, Chicago, all the way to Indiana. So that's a nice ride, being under influence. So I'm driving all the way there with liquor in the car and all that, and I'm pissed. So that was it. I took that and that was it. By the time I made it home, she texting and like a 3-page letter texting. I didn't even read all of it, but it was very, very mean and defamational and lies and all that, and I didn't care. But that's what I get in the way for ignoring the Spirit of God telling me not to do things. I have fought in that because he has told me not to go over there, and I did anyway. But I listened, though, this time and made it a promise that I would not ever go back over there again. And that's why I don't have any family. I have relatives. You can't help that, but family, I have no family. Right now, I have a family in the kingdom. My family is the kingdom. So any set apart ones out there, any true set apart ones out there, I want to, welcome you, and I hope that you can welcome me. If you're supposed to be a set apart one, let's grow as family and let's make it spiritually into the kingdom of God. That's where the family mode come in at. I don't have family on earth. I just have relatives. But my family is in heaven, in the kingdom. We're all going to join together, and that's where the real love going to come in at. Peace and all that. None of this mean nonsense and attitudes and resentments and envying and jealousy. All that is going to be gone. That's what I'd rather have. That's what I'd rather be around. Not someone who get jealous when God prepare a table before you as my enemies. You understand what I'm saying? So when all that came about towards my relatives, they couldn't handle it. Deep down inside, my sister at the time was just jealous. She was jealous because God has prepared a table before my enemies. My mom's at the time, when she was calling me when I sat foot over here, she was jealous. She was jealous because God has prepared a table before my enemies. Both of them were trying to move from their locations because I had moved from my location. This is what I heard and this is what I seen. They were trying to move, even to the point of jeopardizing my son's life, because she called me. Now, this is before we eventually stopped talking. My mom, she said, well, every time you get blessed, that's the time I get blessed too. Every time you get blessed, I get blessed. If it's your time, it's my time too. And I said, I didn't even tell her. I was like, no, that's not how that works. But I didn't tell her that at the time. But when she was trying to move, she was trying to come back to Chicago from where she's at. And then she said that she was waiting on the bus. Some dude approached my son. My son is autistic. He has autism. So, and my son is like 5'9", and he dressed decent, So I guess she said some dude walked up to him like, ooh, what's up? And my mother was like, what are you talking about? He ain't, my son, this is my grandson. He has autism. What are you talking about? Oh, no, I was just saying, huh? Now, I don't know if she was lying or what, but she almost jeopardized my son's life. Could have got shot out there. Now, this is Chicago where she's trying to go back to, because she's trying to force a blessing. She's trying to force something that's not meant to happen. And in the process, you're about to get my son knocked off because you want to get blessed after you done seen my blessings. Same thing with my sister. I'm hurting. I've seen like Facebook or whatever. She taking fake pictures of a place that she's supposed to have moved to. Come to find out it was fake or whatever. But see, this is all after I moved out here. So come to find out these people are just jealous. They're nuts. When someone is blessed, let them get blessed. When you want to grow in life, pray to God that he can remove you from your circumstances. But see, the thing is this, they don't want to change. They don't want to obey God. They still want to live in disobedience. How you going to do that and expect God to bless you? But see, that's where the hate come in at. I got to do all that to get blessed. Oh man, look, I'm finna just cheat my way to do it then. I'm just finna cheat. I'm gonna get it one way or another. No. And see, that's where the anger builds in with people full of covetousness. The anger builds into them because they don't want to do what they got to do in order to get blessings by God. And it's not even about the blessings, though. People don't understand that. But I'm saying you can't continue to be an evildoer all your life and then expect to get something because you see Timmy over there getting blessed. Oh, it's my turn too. I'm finna get that too. So in other words, he had to remove me immediately from these people because they would have tried to kill me. These people were actually at the point of spreading rumors about me and creating chaos. My uncle who passed away, who I tried to help to get a job at Burger King before he passed away, I ain't seen this man in almost 30-some years. He come up there all of a sudden telling me, yeah, I heard what your mama said. Your mama said some mean things about you. I'm going to have to look at you different. Don't even know me since I was like, 14 years old. Going to tell me something my mama said. Don't know jack. I don't know what she told him to this day. I don't know what she could have told him, but of course it's a lie. But she said, mother had said something very provocative for him, who don't hardly know me. He ain't seen me since I was like 15 or 14 or something like that. He ain't seen me since I was a teenager. He come into my life at almost 40-something or 40-something, and he talking about, oh, I can't deal with you no more. No, what deal? You haven't dealt with your own kids. You've been in jail all your life. And then, may he rest in peace, because he died shortly after that in Arizona. Not Arizona, but he was in Florida. He died in Florida. May he rest in peace. I wish that we could have got along, because I could have helped the brother. It's my uncle. But he got caught up. He became a flying monkey. People got to understand, you got to watch who you socialize with. When people always talking about other people, don't even know what they talking about. All they doing is trying to get you to be their enemy. I could have helped my uncle. My mother knew that at the time. My mother at the time knew I could have helped my uncle, but she didn't want that for him. She couldn't help him because he needed somewhere to stay. She didn't want to help him. So she stopped him for getting the blessing from me because I was able to help him. So he knocked that off himself by listening to what she was talking about. And he ended up giving up and said, the heck with it, I'm finna just move out of town. He went to Florida, and I don't know what happened, but they say he died. So there you go. So for the person, or for the people who want to know where my family at, in the kingdom, why I don't have family on earth, because of God. Because of God. God has removed them out of my life. Because of misery that they've caused for years. Ask the disciples. The same thing with Peter and them. Their family had to move around. You know what I'm saying? They had to become disciples. You got to let them go. They'll hinder you. They'll hinder your blessing. They'll hinder your journey. You know what I'm saying? But I did not know until after I moved here that that's what this was all about. Right now I'm being preserved. I am being well put, preserved and protected for whatever duty he got waiting for me in the future. Yep, he got me getting me ready for something I got to do, and I'm being preserved right now, so I got to stay away from all type of evildoers. It's your girl Keziah Harkadashi. I try my best to come to the points of this story or whatever. Hope I can fulfill everybody's question about what's going on and why.